listened to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. Thank you very much for taking seriously from our government.
Was the Ijaw country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic services was at the Government College, New Delhi.
Go gather, destroy their food. Make security camp and that other camp, Tongo camp. You don't compensate everybody.
In its generation sometimes. Today our focus will be on the style of J.P. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point as a dancer.
Some lines are meaningful, some are empty. With too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. Long after some of these earthly adventures and no more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.
Welcome to another edition of my paintings. You have a canvas there which is blank, as you see, and I shall be starting to paint by adding the features. In my mind, I want to paint a pastoral scene in which I put the shepherd as the most important feature in the painting. Well, sometimes these things come based on your cosmic logic. Sometimes it's experiences, sometimes it's only in the head. And that is the way I want to go about it. And some people want it to be more conical. And in this kind of technique, it is easier for you to replicate cattle in this kind of form. Now, I guess a couple of people have not understood what's happening, but then you can start seeing your cattle coming up as the painting is evolving. I got some black here. I love black. It's got character. It's got a pride in itself, you know, and it accentuates inspiration on the canvas. So you can see a cattle coming up, and probably I need to dip the brush a bit. It's tricky to paint while you are your own filmmaker sometimes, you know, because one hand is lost in the work of a camera. Now, with the cattle that we have down here, we should actually have a semblance of the cattle anatomy. Maybe we add that for tails, and yeah. Our next thing will be some legs for the cattle. And remember, these guys, they seem to have some kind of legs that are generally not very straight. The way you look at it is and probably it's beginning to show what our intent is. Well, then my whole issue is to play some guy as the hero of this contraption. He leads his team and therefore he's ahead of the team, and there we have this guy, and in a typical nomadic fashion, this guy should be having some stick that cuts across, you know. We need a bit of black to make sure our stick is visible. Maybe this is just going to be some kind of African design he's carrying, but then it fits in here. So maybe like this, it's more clear where his hands are hanging, and maybe with a bit of a cap, the deal is done for the guy. From now on, we'll be adding some colors in order that we can bring out the painting in its full capacity. So I'm going to be using a bigger brush now to bring out the colors, because I wanted firstly to cover space more rapidly, and also because I want that I don't lose my color shades, you know. With climate change, pastoral nomadism is threatened, and much of pastoral land is diminishing, and much has been observed about this diminishing rangeland in the Sahelian part of Africa, and international aid has stepped up to help those that are affected by the crisis there, even though much still has to be done. There have been some efforts to replant trees as well that are both local and international. Hence the reason why depicting such scenes have both a relevant as well as a cosmic effect on Africa. One must paint the spirit of the time as well as the spirit of the soul. Sometimes diminishing rangelands, it's possible that you have to mix a bit of yellow, a bit of green to have the impact of a changing terrain. You know, a changing terrain is welcome. And the painting is evolving, as you see. Yeah. This Nomad has got vision, and it's clear that his team are going to fatten in a while. Despite diminishing rangelands, though, one must say, in Africa, we are now discovering a vast array of new water sources, Even among the driest communities, like amongst the Turkana pastoralists. But then drilling this water is also tricky. As you know, there's a lot of speculation on who's going to come to drill and the interests of those that really are going to have the technology and the local stakeholders as well. At the end of the day, one shouldn't be strategizing on the lives of people, but that's the politics of humanity. We just need to come up with participatory approaches that will help the people suffer less while economies make a bit of dollars. Business with the human face should be the vision of the 21st century. So too with communication, maybe, and with paintings like this. Now you seem to see that the effect of a diminishing rangeland is seen on the board. Wow. And now we have to do something with our cattle. Many of them are usually brown, but there are white ones like the Bonanji in northern Nigeria. But we'll be leaving them out for today, and we'll be trying something else. Maybe let's call these guys the Zebu cattle in East Africa, and yeah, to heighten our drama, so I need brown this time around to shape things the way we want. Bit of water. It's interesting to know that as I'm painting now, there seems to be a bit of rain falling outside. And I was just about mentioning water. Forces of nature seem to be overwhelming beyond my little board. Now, more brown, more brown, more brown. Okay, I have more brown here. coming up. The painting's coming up, as you can see. Now we have gotten to the stage that we have our cattle that's already painted. We need to now start fitting in how they blend with the grass that they are moving on, and so a bit of green comes back. And one mustn't lose the fact that it has to blend with the fact that for the cattle to be moving, they should be leaving a place that is less friendly, so therefore the green cannot be shouting to a place where the pasture should be greener. Now that should be something that the artist must contemplate when trying to depict things that can be of relevance to given societies. You must transcend and live within those societies with your brush strokes and your color choices. All green and brown, and makes my day these days in this painting. Well, a bit of green parchment here. It cannot be all brownish green, you know. So one has to be both visually convincing and convincing as well in the mind while the job is being done. Wow, the painting is evolving, and I'm happy with its progress so far. Before I get into the bottom part of it, and yeah, it's coming up. And it's time for us to dress up Nomad. I'll be making him slightly colorful, maybe an exaggeration of his heroism can be heightened from his clothes. Maybe it also helps to make it fluid. Maybe he's Maasai, maybe he's the vast array of nomadic people in Africa. So he needs color. He needs color. And the guy's coming up. Now, we don't want this spill to affect our painting, so we have to do some damage control here, and we need a bit of green to do it. Okay, thank God we're dealing with acrylic, and a bit of yellow can help to reduce the little spill, you know. Yeah, and our guy is blending with the nature around him, and we are exploding in our paintings. Well, now we need a shade for his face, and to me some brown and yellow might give us what we need here. What we need here. Okay? And that tells us a story without losing our original story in the backdrop. Yeah. Okay. And good. So we have a painting that we see blending from top to the upper part with our theme of the guy being a hero of pastoral nomadism. And then we have to do a bit of signing to justify the fact that it is an Arrey Ivo concept and painting. So there we go, and we'll be doing a bit of signing here. Arrey Falcazo as a bonus. And our work is there. The hero is there. His cattle are trailing off, and we have diminishing range line. So I hope you enjoyed the manipulations, the use of colors in depicting a very contemporary historical and cultural practice in Africa, pastoral nomadism. And you can see that the hero stands out in the painting as well as his cattle. The colors are unique. It's like you can find in the Saharan part of Africa. It also shows transition, and you know, much of pastoral land is facing some threats from climate change and other human activities. Thank you very much for watching my painting. It has been Arrey Ivo.
Thank you very much. And you just listened to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. Thank you very much for taking seriously from our
This was the Ijo country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools to make your academic services was as government college to Delhi. And
Go gather, destroy their food. With the camp and that other camp, double camp, no compensate everybody.
in each generation sometimes. Today our focus will be in the style of J.C. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point at more dancing.
Some lives are meaningful, some are empty. Lives that are meaningful, with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. After some of these earthly adventures and more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.